Hi, everyone. So
Hello.
sorry for the wait, but to make it up for you, I have some free a free snake show. Here's my good friend Kim. You know her as Westeros
Yes.
and Chill.
Yes.
Please check out her channel. It's in the bio. It's in my description. Um, but yeah, welcome, everybody. Once again, yes, sorry for the wait. So today is before we start our debate, and today's debate is going to be Arya versus Visenya. Woohoo!
Woo! Woo!
I did want to take a moment to shout out all the moms because tomorrow is Mother's Day. And if you forgot that tomorrow is Mother's Day, this is your reminder to go on 1-800-Flowers, Sherry's Berries, Edible Arrangements. Go ahead and send that little package to your mom. Remember to call her tomorrow. And so some of us are wearing pink for that reason.
Burgundy.
I don't know why the colors are gendered. It's stupid, but hey, it's my way to honor moms. So
You know, it actually used to be that pink was considered the more masculine color, and blue was
Really?
considered more demure and female and feminine. Yeah.
And
I can
heels
see
used to
that
be
for
a masculine clothing.
Pink and red
I
had to
think
be.
it was sometime around like the early 1900s that there was a commercial campaign that assigned basically two colors to the genders.
It was like the Elizabethan, between the Victorian Elizabethan era where everyone switched a lot of those stuff. And men can no longer wear heels now.
Yeah, pink had a whole like martial connotation. It was like, oh yeah, the blood of your enemies will like dye your shit pink.
Quite literally. And the
like
heels
the
would be like, have a cunty stature.
Yeah. But whatever, here we are. I happen to be born in this time where people associate pink with Mother's Day. So whoop whoop to all moms. I also want to say that it's okay if you don't want to be a mom. No pressure here. This is a decision, having kids is a decision that no one should ever pressure you into. So if you don't like kids, that's cool. But at least you do have a mom and you could think about what that means to you.
Yeah, it's okay to be a mom of a cat or a snake or a tortoise or a child like
no,
I
pet
am.
moms don't count because pet moms trying to pet moms trying to take over the holidays.
Well, I have a kid too, so I'm a mom.
Yeah. It's not the same. But good job, and thank you for taking care of your pets and treating them like this.
I have cats because kids are too much work and stress and responsibility. I can't just like leave the house with like a bowl of food if I had a human child.
No.
Yeah, clothing a child alone. Listen. All right. So got that out of the way. I love you, Mom. I love my mom. She's awesome. So all right. So for those of you, if it's your first time here, welcome to my channel. Here, let me show you who I am. It's me, Nettles. This is one of our Westerosi debates. So this is going to be done high school debate style or like presidential debate style, where we have our teams. We have our two teams. We have 1 minute to say our point, and we're going to go one by one. And we are answering questions. Our judge is going to be Kim. After each round, she is going to give either team the point. So we like the audience to participate as well. Now, the judge will have the final answer, and the judge will be basing her point system based on the arguments made today, right, Kim? It's not going to be made.
Exactly. Unbiased, solely on the arguments made in this debate. And also, I will need some help from the chat to help me make a decision too. So that will be taken into account.
Yes. So usually we do emojis for each team in the chat. I think, what have we gotten? I think we had a dragon and a needle. I don't like the needle for some reason. It just looks so weak next to the dragon and the emoji.
Maybe a mask.
A mask.
Ooh, we got
for
the
faceless men. Faceless men.
Huh?
For the faceless men, like a mask or something.
No, yeah, I like that. What does that look like? In the chat, can we drop the snake and the mask? Snake and the mask. Snake and the mask.
Sounds like a good film.
Debaters. Tara says, debaters, if someone in the chat makes a good point you didn't think of, steal it. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Listen, this is a song of ice and fire. The morals got to be questioned. So, yeah. Do we like the theater mask or that red mask, that devil mask? I like the theater mask because there is a lot of acting involved in being a faceless man. But the devil mask just looks so fucking funny.
I definitely like the devil one, yeah.
The devil? Let's do the devil.
Oh, yeah. It's a Tengu.
All right. So we have the dragon for Visenya and then that red devil mask for Arya. All right, cool. All right, thank you, chat. So we are going to get started. Team Visenya is always going to go first because Visenya will win this debate. So might as well just, do what we've got to do.
Visenya's going to win a participation trophy.
Huh? No, that's not happening. I guess I'll tell you guys the teams. So I'm Nettles. I'm going to be on team. Oh, and let me introduce these people. Yeah, I was really about to start without introducing you guys. I'm horrible. So I'm Nettles. Oh, how did I do that? I'm Nettles, and I'm on Team Visenya. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I am the Tinfoil Maester. I am on Team Arya.
Yay! And you also have a channel, and we did videos together, and you're super smart, and I love you.
Yes. Check out the Tinfoil Maester channel. Check me out on Reddit. I'm Hi Pikachu, HY Pikachu. I do a lot of tinfoil posting there. Yeah. I'll plug it again.
Oh, it's me.
Yes, it's you.
Oh, I'm Annabel. I'm a goldsmith, and guess whose side I'm on? Visenya's gonna win because Arya ain't shit, basically.
Woohoo!
Yeah. I don't know what else to say.
I'm just gonna pause on you so people can take in your background and how awesome. I just feel
like
just
workshop.
Just looking at your background, I'm like, this is an
sick.
interesting person. Like,
Right?
This is who I want to meet at parties, and I never freaking do.
Oh, is it?
The main character for sure.
Yeah, with my Vega.
We have the doctor who is amazing, who just jumped on here. Okay, no prep. We've all had about like a week's prep of like knowing the questions. The doctor has nothing. She literally just jumped on right now to save our butts because one of our contestants could not make it. Please introduce yourself and tell us why you're so wonderful.
Hello, I'm the doctor. I'm a mod. I don't really come on here on cam, so this is the first time you're seeing me. I'm going to take down that boy mom bitch and tell you guys why Arya is the sickest bitch here.
Boo!
Yay.
Boo! And of course, we have our impartial judge. Please just say a little bit about yourself, your channel, and why you have a snake.
So, I am Kim from Westerosi and Chill, and I haven't done anything with my channel in a while, but I do intend on making a video in the future for reptiles and dragons and things like that. I am a former zookeeper, so I do have a lot of exotic animals still. I don't do it professionally anymore, but I do have my own small business where we breed and sell pet reptiles. This is Ozzy.
Aussie.
His name is Ozzy. He's a Blizzard morph. Like Blizzard of Oz.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
He looks cool.
So this one's not named after a dragon. A lot of them are named after dragons. I do have a Vagar. I may bring her out later.
Okay.
With my husband's help because she's enormous.
All right, cool. Yeah. Whenever
Please.
I know, yeah, you have a live animal. So whenever if you need to jump in and out, we all understand and we love you, and it's such a privilege and blessing to get to see your animals. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Oh,
All
thank
right,
you.
let's get started. All right, Kim, are you ready to read out the first question? You want me to do the first one?
Yes. No, don't do it. I got it right here.
Okay.
Okay.
And if you could please read them twice, although all of them twice, just so that the chat, people jumping in, hopping on the stream randomly know what the question is.
Right, exactly. So Visenya versus Arya. Here we go. Question number 1. Who better exhibits the qualities of a good friend? Essentially, who would you personally want as a best friend? And I am going to who is going first?
I'll go first.
Okay. Nettles goes first. And I am going to flip the hourglass. No.
Okay, so everyone who took one look at Rhaenys assumed she was cheating on Aegon. Okay, people called Visenya a lot of names, witch, bitch, meanie, but no one accused her of being disloyal to Aegon or ever cheating on him. Why? Because she's loyal, and loyalty is something you need in a friend. Other things you need in a friend is dependability, honesty, usefulness, humor. Visenya has all these qualities. She can give you a ride on her dragon wherever you want to go in the world, mountaintops, deep sea, wherever you need to go. Okay. Visenya will also have your back in a fight. She is as good as a fighter as Aegon, the text says. Okay. She's like Mayweather in the ring. She's also funny. When Rhaenys kept a retinues of singers, Visenya had her own fool named Monkey Face or something like that. She comes up with good ideas, like she gave Aegon the idea of creating a Kingsguard. Meanwhile, Arya isn't a good friend because being around her gets you killed. We know it's not her fault, but Micah and Lami could tell you about what it's like to be Arya's friend. Okay, you get killed, and so it doesn't. Her being, it's not her fault, but it doesn't change the fact that you are dead because you were Arya's friend. Versus Visenya, where you get all these benefits. I yield my time.
Good. You just ran out. All right. And for Arya, let's go now.
So Arya is the best at making friends in the story. This is basically like canonically true from one of the earliest chapters. Is Sansa's like, Arya's always just collecting friends, making friends with strange people, listening to like stories and experiences that like aren't valued in society. As opposed to Visenya, I'm very glad Nettles brought up Lord Monkey Face. There were 2 Lord Monkey Faces. One was an actual gorilla, and one was just a hairy fucking guy she pressed into being like a freak show entertainment for her. That is not a good friend. That is a mean person. We can probably agree that some of the Visenya reputation is slander and like historical bias, but just pressing a guy with hirsutism into being a pretend monkey is, in my opinion, a mean thing to do. And everyone dies in Westeros. It is not a function of being Arya's friend. It's a function of being in George's world. Everyone gets killed. People around Visenya get killed or worse.
Time.
Arya will avenge you.
Time.
Wham.
Shall I?
Here we go. For Visenya.
Why would you want to be mates with a 9-year-old traumatized girl? Well, that's just, why would you want to be good friends with Arya, who's a murderer, who's no family and she ran away? She has these wolves' dreams. Why would you want to be friends with her instead of Visenya, who's got Vhagar, is probably the person who had the original dream and not Aegon, because no one would follow a woman? You'd be friends with the person who's wielding Dark Sister. I yield my time.
Confident.
That's a lot of time to yield.
That's a lot of time, yeah, but what else?
Points made.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on.
By the way, real quick, octopus with no friends. Yes, it's a Burmese python. It's a baby Burmese python, so this guy can get a lot bigger. And yes, we do breed Burmese pythons. Good eye.
Mm.
All right. Ready.
Yep, I'm
And
ready.
go.
Now, I find it interesting that you guys believe that Visenya would be your friend. We are all serfs. Visenya doesn't give a shit about anyone but a Targaryen and her family. I find it hard to believe that anyone in this chat or anyone other than her immediate family in the show would receive any type of respect from her. And additionally to that, Arya is, as we said, somebody who may not have an immediate family, but it doesn't matter if she's your family. She didn't care whether Jon was her brother or not. That was inconsequential. It was whether that was somebody who he cared about, or she cared about, I should say. And that's all. I yield my time, honestly. That's my point. No, she wouldn't be friends with any of y'all.
Okay.
Any
Great.
rebuttals?
Rebuttals.
I'm good. I mean, I feel like I said what I said.
There's not much that needs to be said. I mean, it's a 9-year-old girl
I
versus a
agree.
queen.
Yes,
True.
a dragon. Arya can't give you no rides nowhere.
Yeah, I'll rebut one thing. Who wants to be friends with a traumatized 9-year-old girl? This is not necessarily assuming she remains being a 9-year-old girl.
That's true. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Okay.
And most of my friends were traumatized 9-year-old girls at one point in their life.
Yeah, it's true. Why am I agreeing? Never
All
mind.
been there.
Because I'm right.
That would be true.
What do you guys think? Show me in the chat. Popular opinion.
Dragon versus mask.
Tara says Arya will make weasel soup. That's what I'm saying. People get burned around this girl. People are getting hung around this girl everywhere. Dang, Micah.
Enemies! Her enemies get burned so she can save her friends.
Her
that not the same
children.
with
What
Visenya?
friends does she have that isn't related to her?
Well, she has a lot of relatives. She can.
I'm not one of them.
Yeah, because she can't friends with anyone she's not related to. That's a crazy narcissistic.
She doesn't have
tendency.
time. Doesn't have the time.
Yeah,
That's a lot of
Arya
money.
would have the
Have time
time
to
for
be my
every
friend.
single one of us.
She's flaky.
Don't be swayed by those cheapo masks. They were bought by Trump. Make up your own mind, Judge.
Well, we got some dragons too.
Yeah.
My original feeling is that you guys made some really good arguments for Visenya, and also friends have never been Arya's strong suit.
Hold on, we got.
I'm gonna have to go with
yeah.
Visenya on this one, and I'm seeing more
Squires and
dragons
grooms,
now
serving
too.
girls, old men,
so-
and naked children. Free riders
think
of uncertain birth.
Visenya-
Arya would
gonna
make
go with
friends with
Visenya.
anybody.
Are you
All
arguing
right,
with the
we'll
judge?
Visenya gets the
Hold on a
point.
sec.
Woo!
Let me make sure I'm writing everything down.
Oh, I'm
Fake
keeping
news.
the point.
You're writing it down?
Yeah.
Okay. But shouldn't
Your
the
hands are
judge,
full.
impartial judge, be the one to take the?
No. Don't worry.
Keep
The
the
chat knows too. Like they.
Okay. Okay. So next question.
Let's not make up Micah in defensive area.
So you guys all made great arguments. You had me thinking about Arya because she could do a lot with that whole faceless thing. She could do a lot of favors for you in a lot of different ways.
If she was a good friend.
Yeah, that's true.
If you lived long enough.
She is definitively a better friend than Visenya.
Definitively.
And the people
You're all
have backed us up.
cosplaying as Targaryens.
It was
She
a
doesn't care about any of
landslide
you.
for Arya in the polls.
Is that why Kim voted for Visenya, is it? Yeah? Yeah.
Electoral college.
All right, Annabelle, you can go first.
Yeah,
this time.
exactly.
Okay. Next question. Who better embodies the term dark sister?
Well, wait, should I go?
Not yet. Let's go.
So who embodies Dark Sister the most? I mean, it's probably going to be the person that is literally a darker sister to the Aegon the Conqueror, who has a dragon, who is wielder of Dark Sister, and she is also rumored to do dark magic and everything. she's the darkest one. She's the one that survives the longest and has so much more mythical stuff surrounding her. I just think that it's just no contest, really. Arya, she's a sister, but she's not that dark. I mean, she is, but they don't know that she's that dark. And yeah, it's just Visenya for the win for every single question because dark sister. Yielded.
Still got time?
Yeah, I
Okay.
yielded.
Got it.
Hold on, sorry, that's me trying to use a mouse with these gloves. Okay.
All right. Who better embodies the term dark sister? And go.
So Arya is already associated with multiple forms of socially malign magic, both skin changing and the faceless men. She is on a quest of vengeance. She is literally the ghost of Harrenhal. She is haunting a haunted castle. Her darkness is shrouded and obscured by the virtue of her being a faceless man and in these shadows, all of which, again, goes to the point of her being the Dark Sister rather than it being a point against her. Everything that Visenya does in this regard, Arya does, but more so. Spooky magic accomplices, driven by a desire to fight and kill. She's literally like a vampire wolf queen without even trying to be. Visenya's whole Dark Sister role is just George copy and pasting the Sansa Arya relationship.
Time. Okay.
Did you finish your statement?
Yeah.
Okay. Oops. Okay.
And go.
All right. Who better embodies the term dark sister? I know a thing or two about darkness. Visenya is the true dark sister because she is darker. Visenya's darkness is deeper than an honorable Stark could ever dream of. She is Targaryen and the rules don't apply to her. Arya is a cute little girl. Visenya is not only a sister, she's a sister wife. Sister double, okay? That has to earn her extra points, Judge. Okay, she's playing the sister role in double, and Visenya is such a good sister to Rhaenys. We all know a lot of us wouldn't be able to share a man, but Visenya is able to put her pride aside and share a king. Some of y'all are sharing a man and you don't even know it, and he's a bus driver and he's cheating on you. You don't even know it. She is sharing a king. Okay. So, Ari, oh,
Finish.
all right,
Finish
I
the
got a rebuttal.
sentence.
I got a rebuttal. I got.
Yes, Visenya the agreeable.
She is
Very dark.
All right.
I like the bus driver bit. Okay, ready? And go.
All right. I find it interesting that you call Era honorable when I would argue that Visenya's kills were more honorable than Arya's ever were. She actually had the audacity to show her face. She was a faceless man. She was a whore. She was an eldritch whore to almost everyone she killed in the later parts of the book. Well, anyone she killed, honestly. She not
Doc. You're frozen.
only is the
No, the
Dark
doctor.
Sister as in
Oh,
like
there she is.
scary, spooky, like a presence that scares everyone. Hold on. Is there a problem?
Yeah, you're frozen. I heard the.
Can you hear me
yeah,
now?
now we can hear you. Hold on. Well, yeah. Just repeat.
Yeah. What are the Maesters doing?
I'm not part of them. I'm the Marwyn.
The Maesters will have their
IRL.
chance.
All right. Now we're all good. You can hear me. We're fine.
Yeah. I would say
All
you'd
right.
have to repeat the last
for-
3 sentences.
last 3 sentences. Not only is she like a scary assassin, like an Eldritch horror, the people she killed were terrified of her. Not only just her presence, but genuinely her lack of presence. This is the dark sister, the shadow. She's also the black sheep of her family, of her siblings. She is the sister that is the black sheep. She is the darkened sister. And to call her honorable, again, I will repeat because I don't know if you guys heard that, but she isn't honorable compared to Visenya. Well, Visenya, who would actually show her face to her fights, even if she was on a dragon. Whereas Arya has the least honorable kills ever. Being an assassin is considered an unhonorable trade. And I yield my time.
Okay, I'm going to cut you off there because I think that's where you would have run out of time if you had not been interrupted by the glitch thing. Are you frozen again?
Looks
Oh
like
no.
Okay.
I think I was.
I already have a rebuttal, so
Go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's hear your rebuttal. No.
So yeah, Arya made it hard for Sansa, okay? Throwing food at her, putting shit in her bed. It might be cute to you guys because it's not happening to you. If Arya had to be a sister wife, she would murder her sister eventually. Visenya and Rhaenys had a bond. Arya and Sansa could never have that bond because of what a horrible sister Arya was. Visenya wielding the Valyrian steel sword Dark Sister ought to land her some weight here, Judge. Okay, it has to be said. The fact that she named the sword that because she knows that that's what she is, a dark sister. Visenya is known as the most famous sister in the game, the most famous sister since the Gemstone Empress, the big three. She is part of Aegon, Visenya, and Rhaenys that conquered Westeros. Like, what could be more sisterly than that? Like Arya herself said, Aegon and his sisters, okay? Dark sister, put some respect on it. And the reason Visenya is such an inspiration to Arya is because Visenya shows that the sisters can play too. They can be part of the family legacy. They can ride dragons. They could. Oh, is that my time?
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot to remind you.
I would like to rebuttal if I'm not a robot anymore.
I'm also happy to rebut.
You guys want to share?
Okay.
So you guys can share 30 seconds.
Okay. So
Go.
to me, the term dark sister and what defines it would be a tension, a contrast with the family. So pointing to this idea that like Visenya is super like agreeable and on the same page as Rhaenys doesn't highlight a contrast. It highlights that she is far from being the dark sister, more of the same. Whereas Arya is out of step with the rest of the Starks. She is on a different continent. She's eschewing her honor. I had another one. Oh yeah, we can't count just the sword's name as its own point. You wrote the question based on it already being her name. And again, the Visenya Rhaenys relationship just exists to contextualize the Arya Sansa relationship. I will yield to the doctor.
Doctor.
And what I would like to say is just because, well, hello.
Hold on.
Can you hear me? We're good? We're good?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you. Hold on. Okay. Go.
All right. So, and I would like to say, just because Arya is kind, that as a child in their sibling dynamic, doesn't mean that she would not be considered the dark sibling or the black sheep if you were rebuttaling against me in that point. Because that just means that Sansa was using that bullying of Arya to fit in with her family and to fit in with her mother. That is how she assimilated into her family. That doesn't exclude the fact that Arya was not in line with siblings, and the only one she was the person who she didn't even know she was related with. So I yield my time. She is the dark sister.
All right, Judge, I'll give you some time to think about it. Chat, get to voting. Who is the better dark sister?
I'm interested in what the chat has to say. Show me some masks or some dragons.
Show us some masks. Let's go 2 for 2 on the chat vote.
Woohoo! But wasn't this a good question? I had to pat myself on the back. I was like, hold on. These two got something in common. But no, I just love it. I've always felt like the dark sister because I'm always the only black person in the room. But
Yeah.
no, just kidding.
Oh, it might be hard to
Physically
tell,
the
but I'm
dark
mixed.
sister. But I'm also the
White
you're
passing
the dark.
sister.
But no, also I'm just my brain. Like I always go to the darkest thing. Like always, whatever the subject is, my brain always goes there. I've always felt like the dark person inside.
So it seems like the chat is pretty evenly split.
It is literally
Wow.
4.5 to 4
I'm
and a
gonna
half.
give this one. I'm just gonna give this one to Arya. I think you
Oh
guys
my
made really
God.
good choices.
Oh, boo!
Foil Maester, you really just when you listed off all the many things that Arya does, like haunting a castle. Come on. I would say that even though Visenya does have, she is the original and she has Dark Sister, the sword, and everything.
She's literally
Arya
a dark
does a lot
sister.
darker stuff. I think Arya does even darker stuff than Visenya does, but
They're
it's close.
both.
Really
They're
close.
both.
I mean, dark sister of who? Where's her sister? Dead? Can't find her body? Give me a source. Where's the body at? Where's the sister?
They're both. Okay. Question 3. So I'll go first this time.
Okay. One sec. Question 3. Who has the better team? And a go.
Well, let's see who is on Visenya's team. She has Aegon the Conqueror. She has Rhaenys. She has Vhagar. And then later on, she's going to have her baby boy, Maegor the Cool. Okay. So we have Aegon, who is the most famous Targaryen of all time. Imagine your teammate being the most famous Targaryen of all time. Think about the resources that could bring you. She got along with Aegon. Even when they stopped having sex, they were still besties. Then we have Rhaenys, her sweet baby sister who had looks, charms, charisma, a dragon, and a sister bond to kind of stabilize her so she can have a good family dynamic. And then Vhagar, a powerful dragon who symbolically starts the Targaryen reign in Westeros and then is part of the Dance of the Dragon. So Vhagar starts and ends it. Vhagar is symbolic. Visenya is symbolic. She has this amazing team. She has a better team than Arya because Arya's team keeps ending up dead.
All right. Tell us who has the better team.
Okay. Apples to apples, Arya has the better team. Powerful conqueror brother. Aegon, Robb, it's a wash. Pretty song-loving sister, Sansa, Rhaenys, it's a wash. The people around her end up dead. Again, that's just the nature of Westeros. People around Visenya also end up dead. Rhaenys, Meraxes, half of the people who fought alongside Maegor, also probably Maegor himself for a while before he got Mirri Maz Duur back. Siblings, it's a wash even before we count Bran, Jon, Rickon, Ned, Cat. Important, big-ass, symbolic animal familiar. So Nymeria versus Vhagar. I would call that a wash. Who's Visenya got left? Maegor? Crippled, coma, murder, Frankenstein, everybody hated him, Maegor, versus Jaqen, Gendry, Beric, Thoros, Sandor, Micah, Syrio.
Time.
Trash. Pure trash.
That's pretty good.
I'm ready.
Okay. Who has the better team? Go.
So, Tinfoil, you just said about how Arya has a brother who's dead. All of her other members of family who are lost or dead or completely different characters or going under a different name now. Yet Visenya literally has the power triplet of herself, Aegon, and Rhaenys. I don't get how that's not a team made in heaven compared to Arya, who's on her own most of the time. Like Beric Dondarrion, he's not on her team. He's just using her. Same with the Hound. I don't think Arya's got a team or a friend in sight. I yield my time. Sorry if that's not enough.
Dot.
All right.
Excellent points, everybody. Okay. Who has the better team? And go.
All right. So you might think, well, who would I want on my team other than dragons? Well, I would argue a wolf, because wolves are cool. Wolves are fluffy, and you can sleep with them. Wolves are just the best, and dragons are hot and scaly, and you wouldn't even want one of those. They're kind of lame. Considering the fact that her husband dead, her sister dead, the only person is her son, who's kind of gross and nobody likes him, and she doesn't even really like him. She's just a really, really intense boy mom. Whereas the fact Arya, the fact that she is not connected to any of her siblings, they would all throw down for her anytime. And same other way around. That's her team. And when they do link up, that is her team. So I would yield my time and say that Arya would be have the better team, because her team is actually alive and useful and cute and cuddly.
Okay.
And that's your time anyway. So there you go. All right.
I don't have a rebuttal. I don't know if you guys do.
I'll rebut the point that she's just using her friends, which I find hard to believe since she's like most of their captives. So if anyone is using her, it's the other way around. Rhaenys also dies. Rhaenys gets murdered. It gets murdered atop a dragon, kind of undermining the value of the whole dragons make you have a great team side of the argument.
Wow. This is brutal.
Okay. Chat, what do you think?
The slander.
Jon was ready to ride and die. Jon did die for not even Arya, but he didn't know that.
The slander. Judge, just remember.
I have an idea. But I want to hear what the chat thinks first. Dragons or masks? Masks, dragon.
Dragon.
Masks.
Visenya had a council. Stop it. Arya has.
None of them liked her.
It doesn't matter. That's
It doesn't matter. It's better team, bro.
A better team.
It's not best friends.
Efficiency. Arya's relying on luck. I hope this guy is a farmer and not a rapist. Like, like she just finding people on the street.
I didn't think about hot pie.
She got lucky.
Again,
Hot
pie is a friend, not a team member.
And then imagine if hot pie
requires a team of friends.
Okay, good point. That's a lot of masks, you guys. I don't know. Maybe I should think about this more.
First of all, chat, you guys need to stop being biased. Don't base it on which is your favorite character. Base it on the arguments made.
Where I won.
So my instinct is, I'm sorry, chat, but I think Visenya wins this one. You guys made really good points with all the many resources she has versus yes, you also made good points. You made me think about people that Arya had been involved with that I didn't think about, like Beric Dondarrion and everything. Like, okay, I guess, but that's not really, he's not on her team. He's just bargaining with her. Like, I think Visenya has to win this one. I mean, I think Arya's only real team member is Nymeria.
And Jon.
Jon, yes.
Died to go protect Arya.
Gutted.
But Jon's not good at team membership anyway. He can't be, like he tries to lead and then fails and gets stabbed in the back. I don't know. Okay, next question.
Annabelle, you're up.
I'm ready, I think.
Who has the better relationship with Daddy? Any daddy issues?
So,
go.
Ready? Arya basically saw her father's head get chopped off. Now, I don't know what that's going to cause. If not, that's going to cause daddy issues for 100%. Whereas Visenya had obviously parents that care about her and her siblings, even though they got married, which some people, a bit weird, whatever. But they managed to make all the three of them into conquerors and fellow kings and queens. There shouldn't be any daddy issues there, especially compared to Arya, who had a relationship with a father that was close, and then it obviously got really fucked up because of Sansa. So I think that Arya has more of the daddy issues, and Visenya's a bit more of a stronger lass. And now you're panicking me because you're showing me the pink timer, and I
You have time. You have time.
I thought it was running out sooner. I wanted to give you a warning.
Yeah, no, don't worry. That was
That was the argument.
Yeah.
All right. Good argument. And go.
Definitely Arya has a better relationship with her father. We actually see it happen. It's possible that Visenya has some great relationship with Arion, who most of you probably didn't remember is the name of their dad. Chat, not members. I fully believe it's a lay audience thing. Anyway, we don't know a damn thing about Visenya's relationship with their dad. They never talk about him. It doesn't seem like he had a very big impact on them. And to the point about raising conquerors, Robb was a conqueror. Most of Ned's children become kings or queens. I think everyone except Rickon becomes a king or a queen, and Arya, I guess. But again, it is, if we're using that as an indication of quality of parenting, Ned as a father fathered more monarchs than Aerion Targaryen. So that's another point we're up on.
That's a good one. I hate to say it, but yeah. That was I have to give it to you. Enemy, even though you're my enemy, yeah, that was really good. But don't
Really good.
just forget he said that. Or forget she said that. I'm so sorry.
All right. Who has a better relationship with their dad? Any daddy issues? And go.
Okay, so Visenya had a dad like Arya, a dad who nourished her and allowed her to become confident, a swordswoman, a diplomat, a mother, and a child of destiny. Like Visenya would not have been able to do any of that if her dad wasn't supportive. If her dad was like Samwell Tarly's dad, Visenya would have become a crumbling mess. If her dad was abusive, she may have turned out as like a lesser person, not as confident. She would have been different. We heard no rumors of Visenya having sex with old men like Pycelle, so that must mean that she had no daddy issues, right? We never really hear her crying about her gender like Cersei, and we know Cersei has extreme daddy issues. So I asked the court to think that even though we don't know Arion, we know Visenya. And that's my time. All right, doctor.
Did you want to finish or did you finish your sentence?
Yep, that was basically it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Who has a better relationship with daddy? Let's go now.
You're muted.
Mute.
Okay, sorry.
It's mute.
It's muting again. Looks like it's like automatically.
Okay, you're good? Good?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay. Fucking sorry. All right, I'm ready to cook now. So, can you restart the timer or no?
Well, it's like halfway, so just go and
start. Fucking hell. All right. So first of all, her entire arc, when she is like going across the Riverlands, she is incessantly reminded of her father. She is constantly fighting against this connection that she has to her culture and her father, and she's thinking about her mother in that time as well. And not only that, but when Arya's talking to Lady Crane in season 6, she's thinking about how she needs to go back to her father. She misses her father, and people constantly refer to her as Ned's little girl. Okay, I have it right here. Naturally, I don't even think from my head. Dance of Dragons. It was, I would sooner die fighting for Ned's little girl than alone and hungry in the snow. Ned's little girl. Again, Ned Stark's little girl. Reek heard stout servants say Ned Stark's little girl. She's always Ned Stark's little girl. And it's not in a negative way. She's constantly thinking of her father. The first thing she did when she went back to Winterfell is to look at her dad's statue. And not because she hated him or had issues, because she missed him because he's dead. So. I
think that's when you would have run out of time anyway. You're good.
Yeah.
I've got a butt. I've got a rebut.
Okay.
Yeah.
And go.
So I did. Obviously, we get a lot more of Arya in the books and in the show, even though the show's what it is. We don't really get to see much about Visenya and her father or anyone linked to that except through third or word of mouth and history and myth and all of that. But also, I can't remember what I was going to say.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
No. Yeah, no, I yield it the rest of the time to Nettles. Go on, quick.
I don't have anything other than to just say that Visenya's dad is better than Arya's dad.
Can I throw on just a final summary? It is possible that Visenya and Aerion have a great relationship, but there's no evidence of it. There is evidence that Arya loved her dad and cared about her dad and is deeply motivated by her dad and talks about him a lot. There's no evidence that Visenya was like, oh, yes, I dedicate this thing to my dad because I love him so much. If she was deeply motivated by this strong relationship, it would have come up in the way that it does with Arya. Also, I'm really sorry, Carl Karstark. 3 tornadoes sounds insane.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's been some weird weather going around.
So, I'm just gonna say, Arya definitely wins this one. You made some great points. The rebuttal definitely.
I did my
as
best.
well. And it's like you said, Team Visenya was at a disadvantage on this one because of the lack of evidence thereof. But also Team Arya just made really good points too.
So right now we're tied. We're tied 2-2.
Is there an even number of questions? So it's possible to tie.
Oh no, I didn't think about that. About even number of questions. Okay.
Okay.
We'll make sure to wrap it up.
Pick one to take it off.
Yeah, what happens? Yeah.
Yeah, there's 12 questions. So, hold on. Okay. Who would make the worst enemy? You don't want to be on her bad side? Why?
Okay, that's me.
Arya or Visenya? And go.
Arya has many enemies, and they are all alive and thriving. Cersei is having the time of her life. Joffrey just got the biggest promotion and became the highest seat in the land. If you're Arya's enemy, nothing happens to you. You're fine, girl. All of Visenya's enemies end up dead or their joys turn to ashes in their mouth. If you're Visenya's enemy, you might end up in the belly of a dragon. If you're Arya's enemy, she's somewhere far away from you. She can't find you. There's so many obstacles in her path. You got 5-10 years to live before Arya can even get to you. Meanwhile, Visenya has a swift dragon that can put an end to you. If you do something to Visenya, you may find that she does nothing to you, but her brother or her sister who has dragons, they're the ones who might avenge her. So Visenya is definitely the worst person to have as an enemy. She's like Maleficent. She's who are you more scared of, Maleficent or Shirley Temple? Okay.
Okay. Who would make the worst enemy? Go.
All right, this is probably the toughest question, the only one that like Visenya really has a fighting chance on. We do have to dip into show canon because we need to talk about full-fledged faceless man Arya. She is effectively a Terminator and a remorseless killer who does deal justice to her enemies. According to the one canon we have, Arya destroys all of House Frey. Even before that, she's killed like Polliver or the Tickler, depending on canon. And we can't discount the possibility that prayer actually induces death. She's praying directly to the god of death in a universe where there are death gods, and that does seem to kind of matter. So we can't entirely rule out the fact that things didn't go good for Arya's enemies. Joffrey is not comfortable. Joffrey died horribly. And also, you can hide from dragons. Don't hide from dragons. You can't hide from the faceless man.
Time. Okay. All right. Who's next? Who would make the worst enemy? Go.
Well, let's just say this. All of Visenya's enemies are dead. Apart from Dawn, which is a country. And all of Arya's enemies or people that she wants to kill, all she can do is think about it. She's like, oh, I wish I could kill this person. How am I going to kill this person? Or maybe I'll kill them this way. And she's flitting and flirting around. Whereas Visenya, she's getting that job done. She's getting them sorted. She don't fuck about. She just goes out and you find out. Yield my time. Sorry. Is that too... Yeah.
No. Oh, all right. Stop.
No problem. Let me just wait for this to go. That was a great point anyway. It's always hard to argue with dragons, isn't it?
You're muted.
Hold on.
All right. Hello.
Okay. Go.
Now, I would like to question who is actually doing the killing? Like, who is she actually doing? Because she uses her dragon to do the killing. And while many people would like to consider it a nuke or a weapon, that's a living being. The dragon's doing the killing. When her son and eventually becomes the dragon, she never really does anything herself. And again, you can hide from a dragon, whereas Arya is a faceless man. She just has a dagger. She doesn't have a dragon. She doesn't have a son. She doesn't have anybody doing anything for her. She doesn't have status. She doesn't have power. The only power she has is what she found and manifested herself. And when people are, her enemies are alive, but they are fucking terrified. And if we do have to coagulate the show and book canon because they do end up dead. So even though I would argue that Arya makes sure they are terrified before their deaths. I wouldn't want to get fucking killed by Arya. I'd rather get burnt by fire. I would rather not live in fucking paranoia for 10 years, for 5 years, and then die.
Time.
Boo.
Well, good points all around. Chat, what do you think?
Any rebuttals? I don't have.
Show me the emojis.
I very much enjoy all of Visenya's enemies die, except an entire country.
We cannot annihilate countries.
Well, then she's not a very
Annabelle,
good threat, is she?
Annabelle, you're muted.
I said we tried, but it didn't work.
Oh, so she's inept. Have we ever heard of the faceless man trying and failing?
Oh my gosh. The chat got some dragons.
That's a good point. I think Visenya has got to take this one.
No, I gave him my best effort.
She's the ruler of the whole nation.
I will say though that someone in the chat said that the fact that Arya keeps a list of her enemies is kind of cool. So I'll give you guys that. But come on, Visenya's a grown woman.
That's fair.
I'm sorry if I'm not taking up all my time enough as well. I just I got more to say, and then it's like, oh, time. And
I definitely. I'm also just yapping on my ass, guys.
You're what?
Just yapping.
If I were more willing to entertain,
all of you.
Tinfoil.
If I were more willing to dip into show canon, I might have made the argument that, Arya can kill the Night King and a dragon can't. So by power,
dip into show canon.
I really don't want to. I mean, I'm going to later for the long night question, which we're just going to win because of that thing I just said. But, man, I don't want to. It feels
use whatever helps you make your point better.
It's such a Pyrrhic victory to allow the problems of late show canon to stand.
Okay.
All right.
If you win, but at what cost?
So that is another one for Visenya. Next question, number 6.
Annabelle, this is you. Did you go first last time?
I think I went first twice.
Okay, so it's me.
Okay. So number 6, Nettles goes first. Which of the two wields power more responsibly? And a go.
Patience. Patience. Visenya wields power more responsibly because she has more patience. Does Arya have patience? She does not. Visenya is not a greedy, evil person who will murder her siblings to take power. She does the right thing and bides her time and plays by the rules. She knows when to pick her battles. Visenya has a lot of power. She is the firstborn. She could have told Aegon, nah, I'm the firstborn. It's going to be me. She didn't. She chose to wield power responsibly. She wanted 11-year-old Maegor to be betrothed to Rhaena. They said no, and she listened, and she just chose not to use her power. She didn't force that. She counseled Maegor to work in peace alongside his brother Aenys when his brother became king. She knows how to wield power responsibly. She uses power to broker peace. She was a matchmaker, and she was actually successful in joining together 2 Brackens and 2 Blackwoods because she realized that using power responsibly means brokering the realm for peace. These people are fighting. Well, let's make them marry each other because we need peace. So, Visenya definitely wields power responsibly. Arya's
Okay.
impulsive. Arya's
I don't want
impulsive.
to bring the thing up too early and stress you guys out.
It's okay.
Okay. Ready? And who wields power more responsibly? Go.
Nettles is right. Visenya does have more patience, more burn ward patience. She burned the whole friggin' Riverlands. How are we going to remotely pretend that's responsible? What was the point of that? If you're looking at this from, is kind of blending into the later who's better for the small folk point. If you are part of the realm of that Visenya rules, you are constantly at risk of being burned to friggin' death. So that she accepted that her like marriage proposal wasn't accepted is of lesser consequence to me than the fact that she burned thousands of civilians. So to say that she is less impulsive than Arya, who doesn't take the impulsive easy option with her faceless man kills, but rather uses them strategically in a way that will benefit herself and those that she does have power and responsibility to. The tiny modicum of power she has, she uses it more responsibly and does her duty as a Stark and as a friend.
Okay.
Right.
So,
Visenya or Arya, who wields power more responsibly? Go.
obviously, Visenya wields power more responsibly. She encourages Aegon to take control of the Seven Kingdoms in order to have power over everyone for the betterment of everybody else. She allows. Oh, what did I write? Hang on. So another thing, she's always sent off to Duskendale on her own, just to seize that village or whatever it's called. Gives that money to the conquest, and then she's also asked to go to Crackclaw Point on her own, and then all the lords just give her all the power instantly, and she's just on her own. And I just think that because even though she's a woman, Aegon has to become king in order to bring the dream to life and save the whole Seven Kingdoms. I just think that she has better power resources.
Time.
Yeah. I actually did a full one then. Well done.
Hooray. Huzzah.
All right, Doc. Doc, is that the zodiac sign behind you? It is.
It's very cool. You're muted. Okay, great. Who wields power more responsibly? And go.
Now, Nettles, you brought up a really good point. Lists. Nothing's more responsible than a list. Keeping track of who you're going to kill and at what, that's very responsible. And, I wouldn't consider bringing back my son from exile and letting him being probably one of the most notorious and insane kings in Targaryen history to be a responsible act, in the very least. I would say that Arya is far more responsible in that she knows who she's going to kill, and she's going to kill them. And that is exactly what she's going to do. Visenya just kills whoever. She just does whatever she wants to do. You could say that she was good at it, and she was making the decisions for her husband, but were they good decisions? Did she succeed? I don't think so. That's why she had to get her son to do it.
And
I will yield my time, yeah.
That was really good. That was a really good point. Is it responsible to let your son become a terrible tyrant to the whole...
Who is terrible? You mean saving the Targaryen dynasty?
That's true. He did save the Targaryen dynasty. They were very weak. And
yeah, and the Targaryens like that. And no one else.
The biggest threat to the Targaryen dynasty during the time of Maegor was Maegor.
I do have a quick... I have a quick little rebuttal, quick little point is just to think about when Visenya went to the errands and how she was able to wield power responsibly by using diplomacy, taking that little boy for a ride. No one died. So many small folk lived because Visenya chose, I have the power to burn this castle to the ground, just like my brother did Harrenhal, but instead I'm just going to talk to you. That's wielding power responsibly.
Talk to you. She threatened a child.
She took that child for a ride. It was a ride. It was a carnival ride.
Okay. Well, who do you guys think won?
New cries are very responsible.
I see 2 dragons. I see 1 mask.
No way. We need to recount.
This is a tough one. You guys all made such good points.
Arya and Visenya both have took a castle with minimal casualties options, but also Arya does not have, and then I burned half of frickin' country because I was mad.
But
and
poisoned every single fray.
What?
She poisoned every single fray, the entire line.
The ones who were complicit.
Every single one. except that one girl.
And you know what? You guys all
he makes a point of getting them all to say, all of you who helped me kill the Starks and execute the Red Wedding. Remember when we did that? She gets them all to admit they are complicit. It was not indiscriminate killing the way Visenya did to the Riverlands.
You guys all made really good points. I'm going to have to give it to Visenya here because for me, it was totally 50-50. I could not decide, but the chat swayed me because they were more convinced by Visenya's points.
Y'all not going to like this. It's 4-2. Visenya has 4, Arya has 2.
Oh, no.
Don't say
Arya. Non-biased. Okay, I'm going to put this snake away because he's getting antsy. And I feel like he's gonna poop.
That'll be good because then we can wait to see if Annabel comes back.
Yeah. You know what happened there?
Yeah. Let's see. Let me see if she emailed me to say anything.
Thank you, Morse Code Food. 3-3.
How is it 3-3? It's 4-2. Oh
no, on the chat, who all agreed that Arya is a better friend because it's just canonically true.
Listen. This is the way things have to be, okay?
Yes, I know. The arbitrary wins power. It's very Visenya.
That means I have no real rebuttal. If I'm saying this is the way this has to be, it's over. Now I'm worried about Annabelle. Do they have internet in the old country? I don't even know how she was able to come on.
Steam powered.
The AOL dial up.
Whistle up.
Okay, give me 1 minute.
That's fine. Annabelle's still not here.
I'm gonna take a pause to feed my cats early because it's.
That's good. Okay, everyone. Yeah, I'll be here.
Yeah,
please
take an intermission.
Intermission. Doc, you have some time to look over the questions.
Right.
AOL. Yeah, Tara. Back in the olden days. Bye, Senor Snake. How are you guys doing in the chat? I am past the point of tipsy. So I just want to check in with you guys. I made who loves orange soda? Kel loves orange soda. I made vodka and orange soda drink, and you guys see that I've drunk it all. I shouldn't be drinking vodka. I'm a small person, and I'm immature and bad with alcohol. So, but I do like to drink, even knowing all that. I looked away for 1 second. Everyone was gone. I know, isn't that funny? Um, listen, this is our intermission, okay? Which is great because we have 12 questions, and that was our 6th question. So we're halfway through. So just taking a break, feeding the cats, doing what we got to do. Praising Garth. Listen. Praise Garth.
Gotta praise Garth real quick.
Mm-hmm. Four to 2. Y'all, if Visenya wins this, I will feel so vindicated because there are so many past debates that my team should have won and it didn't. So but yeah, what are you guys talking about? Praise God. If chat is up, they should be able to get back to the stream, I think. I wish I should play some music. Alexa, play I don't know. No. Just off. Alexa off. Alexa off. Alexa's trying to play a movie. Would you guys like for me to sing? Praise Bacchus. I'll take a request.
Tub Something by Chumbawamba because it's copyright free.
Pump Something by Chumbawamba. Alexa,
Tub
play. Huh?
Tub Thumping. It's the he drinks a whiskey drink, he drinks a vodka drink song.
Alexa, play Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba.
You're not actually have to play Tub Thumping. I was just saying it because it's copyright free.
Because copyright free. Oh my gosh. I want to hear what it is. Chumbawamba sounds like. What would be on Visenya's playlist? Guess ass. All-Star Sports Show. Oh, let me see.
Undoubtedly,
I know
Visenya's
this
gonna be in
song.
my head.
Yeah, I was gonna say most people know it even if they don't know it by the name. It's like super prevalent because it was in everything. Because the band is like, this is this thing my sister told me. It might not actually be true, but from my understanding, it was everywhere like in the '90s because it's like catchy and enjoyable, but also it's super easy to like get the license for because they're like hippie, comedy, like free. Yeah, just have our art type artists.
That's so nice. I like that backstory now. Of course, I've heard this song. Wow. Pissing the night away. I didn't know that was the lyric. I thought it was kissing the night away.
I also did until just now, actually.
It's never gonna bring. So what would be on Visenya's playlist? 70s rock, Joan Jett. Visenya's 70s rock, Joan Jett.
I was also gonna say 70s rock. I feel like, or like, I guess the next one is 80s, but it's like Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
That fits her very well.
What happened to Annabelle? Oh my gosh. The cursed stream. Where is everybody? Let me look at my... We can keep going and just see if she's able to come on. You guys, I can hold my own with Visenya.
Visenya listens to Chumbawamba. It's been
I
decided.
would say I very much am a shackle for the Arya side, so it would probably be equal.
Well, no, you're doing pretty good.
You're doing really good.
Yeah, the last I can't remember because of inebriation. But you said something the last one. I was like, dang, I wouldn't have thought of that. And that is true. Morse code food says, I feel like Visenya would like Tears for Fears. What's their famous song again? Wait, what? How does that go? I've heard it.
Is it Head Over Heels? Is that Tears for Fears? Something happens and I'm head over heels. Ignore me.
Oh. Okay, I know that. Okay.
Oh, Mad World. Yeah, that one too.
Oh, they sing Mad World, or they were the first to do that.
Wait, no, I thought that was
It's been done so many times.
Yeah.
Guest says Targaryens are metalheads based on their hair alone.
Yeah, it's got to be Visenya's band has got to be Iron Maiden, you guys. In my mind, anyway. I don't know. Iron Maiden just sounds
Richard's in the chat. Asher's trueborn son. Shout! Everybody wants to rule the world. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. We're gonna keep going.
I can step in if you want me to argue and not be the judge, or I can just judge and you, Tinfoil and Maester, can go twice.
No, I would be going twice.
You mean Nettles going twice?
Okay.
No, I'll keep you as the judge, just because we started that way.
Okay.
I'll just be doing double duty. Because I'm saying that because I feel like Annabelle will come in at any point, so then I don't want you like
right
caught.
Exactly. Okay. So then, number 7. Which of these two is a girl's girl? And go.
I have one word, and that's sister wife. I mean, what could be more of a girl's girl than literally sharing a man? Like, you have to be a girl's girl to be able to do that. You have to be able to put aside your own ego. You have to be able to put aside monogamy and all of that to be and to share that. So I'm gonna yield my time and just say that just the fact that she's a sister wife makes Visenya a girl's girl. And I don't think it's like, oh, Rhaenys is so special. She was able to get along with her. I think that Visenya would have been able to get along with anyone as a sister wife, just because of how diplomatic she is and how she looks at the bigger picture.
Excellent. All right. And go.
I have to question the assertion that Visenya is like super diplomatic. Again,
okay,
we're just gonna pretend like the Riverlands don't exist is what I'm gathering. But that is sort of the best case argument here is you have to include the small folk among the girls. And once you do that, it is very hard to argue that Visenya is more of a girl's girl. Like, if you're in a keep in the Riverlands is being burned by Visenya, you don't really feel very much like female solidarity. Whereas Arya, even with like girls she doesn't like necessarily get along with, like the unnamed crying girl, she still risks everything to try to save this person. Because Arya is a true believer in solidarity. And in friendship, which is why she makes friends with everyone, including just like random girls that she meets. I think scrolling back up to the quote that was dropped about her ability to make friends. Sorry. Arya is a friend of all in a way Visenya is not.
Dang. All right, back to me.
And go.
I just also want to say that Visenya is a girl's girl because she embodies both or many different archetypes of women. In the text it says that she was just as comfortable in male as she was comfortable in silks. So that means that no matter what type of girl you are, if you are the girl in silks or if you are the girl in male, Visenya can talk to you about that. Like, she has no reason to shame you. She has only reason to prop you up, to give you advice and to advocate for you because she is those things herself. So, yeah, I just feel like Visenya is more of a girl's girl because Arya just embodies the martial part of it. Like, I'm a tomboy, shooting arrows, all that stuff, but she doesn't identify with the type of girls who are more like Sansa. She ridicules Sansa in her mind and thoughts. Was that my time? Okay, in the times,
Now
but Visenya has both.
Okay. All
right,
right. Who's the
I'm ready.
girl's girl? Go.
Now, I would like to talk about the fact that she is a sister wife. There's absolutely no evidence that that was beneficial to her or she enjoyed that dynamic at all. Actually, this Rhaenys was an addition onto the marriage because Aegon really, really, really wanted to marry her. That had absolutely nothing to do with the fact that it was, or there's no evidence to support the fact that she enjoyed that dynamic. She was supposed to be Aegon's only wife. Aegon invoked rare polygamy that rarely was ever used, and it's repeatedly implied or accepted that she would be jealous. So unless there is some evidence that in this dynamic that you can bring up that their sister-wife dynamic was beneficial to her or that she liked her sister or anything like that, when contrarily, Rhaenys was flirty. She was, well, I wouldn't say kind, but considered to be more lighthearted, whereas Visenya was considered to be stern and serious, and there was absolutely, there's definitely nothing to connect them. I'll take that, yeah.
Any rebuttals?
I can do it. I just have to accept late show canon, but I can do it. Yes, Arya starts out as in this like competition. I'm not like other girls. I'm smarter and better than that. But that is her arc, or at least part of her arc, is that she grows out of that. We see in Bravos, she sees women like Lady Crane or Lady Stork, depending on canon, and like the value in this type of femininity and a more conventional approach to like womanhood that deals with like art and artistry. By the end of the show, she is on complete same page with Sansa. They are this dynamic duo that's just toppling the patriarchy and destroying the men that have wronged the women of their family. Total girl boss vengeance, used sincerely rather than ironically. Does anyone say girl boss sincerely anymore? Doesn't matter. Whereas, again, with the same thing as like the relationship with her dad, it's possible that Visenya and Rhaenys had this good relationship. We don't even have evidence of that. We do have evidence of this Arya-Sansa dynamic by the end of the show. She grows into a more inclusive, I see and respect the value of more conventional Sansa.
Do a little rebut.
Anybody
You got
else?
a rebut?
Just to add on, I guess, to say that additionally, Rhaenys was barely interested in Maegor, but Maegor was even reluctant to give Visenya a child. Like, there's no... Visenya would only feel resentment for that fact. Maegor is the consequence of that. Every evidence points to the fact that she is very strategic about what she does, but when Maegor comes to power, she basically lets him do whatever the fuck she wants, and that's not just... It's literally just because he's her son. That's it. It has nothing to do with what she wants to do. It's just the fact that she was denied that. So that would lend to the fact that she is very resentful of her sister, and I don't think that would make her a girl's girl at all.
Chat. What do
Yeah.
you decide?
I don't have a rebut, but I just want to reiterate my point that Visenya embodies like both. She just embodies more of a variety of being a girl's girl than Arya. That's it.
So you made a really good point with the as comfortable in silks as she is in chainmail. I really like that.
Yeah.
However, I think Arya's got to take this one because
she doesn't even like Sansa because Sansa is a girl.
Yeah, but that is it's
No,
like
she doesn't like Sansa because Sansa is bullying her.
That's her arc. She becomes not like that later, and she's able to see.
She doesn't like her mom.
Yeah,
she doesn't like Sansa.
Tinfoil Maester.
She
really
lets
won me
Weasel
over with
die.
that one.
Why did she?
She's
The way
the
she fought for
epitome of a
Micah.
girl's girl because she wants to be who she is. It's other women who are not being girls that forces her to reject the women around her. It has nothing to do with women. The fact that their internalized misogyny makes them attack her. If that wasn't the case, I don't think she would have those feelings.
And that's another really good point too.
Give the point to Visenya. Stop playing.
I'm gonna have to give it to Arya on this one.
You're just trying to make it tie. That's all you want.
I don't know what the score. You're keeping track. It's best
You're
this
just
way.
hoping
Now
that
it's
you never
4.
win.
Now it's 4-3.
Okay.
Are you happy now?
Okay.
Visenya has 4. Arya has 3.
All right. Are we ready for the next question? Who is better in times of war? Who would be more useful to the long night? And go.
So, Visenya has a dragon. So when we're thinking about being useful to the long night, let me go ahead and steal the thunder from Team Arya. We know Arya killed the Night King. We get it. We know. But what we're talking about is what is useful to the long night. And the things that are useful to the long night is dragons. It is fire, air force, play, air force type stuff. Airstrikes is what I'm trying to say. The dragon, okay? What else does Visenya have? Valyrian steel. She has dark sister. So whether it's her using her dragon or her on the front lines just like Daenerys, Visenya is ready for the long night, sitting in the Red Keep. Like the Red Keep's not built yet, but I'm just saying, just her, how she is in the castle right now, she's ready for the long night. She has a dragon, she has Valyrian steel. Arya will have to go through
time.
Arya don't got it. Arya don't got it.
1 sec.
Okay.
Okay. Ready? Who is better in times of war? Who would be better for the long night? And go.
Unambiguously, Arya. As Nettles rightly pointed out, Arya wins the long night. She brings a skill more valuable than dragons. Say what we will about the canon, it is canon in the only Song of Ice and Fire universe to show this battle happening. The others are able to resist dragonfire, but not Valyrian steel dagger, which Arya also has. So moot point on the steel. The ability to sneak up and catch the others unaware seems to be more valuable than a dragon. Also, there are other dragons in the fight. Like you can take there are other people available on the team that like add that. Like in either canon, there's 3 to 2 dragons available to both dragon trios, the original and the main series timelines. But there doesn't seem to be a faceless man on the original trio, and Arya provides that Visenya can't.
All right. Who's better in times of war and the long night? Go.
I just want to point out, I'm not going to need all my time, is that in the text, once again, like I said, it says that Visenya is just as good as a fighter as Aegon. And Aegon is known as one of the best swordsmen in the land. So if Aegon's one of the best swordsmen in the land, and Visenya is just as good as him, then I'm sorry, she's a better swordsman than Arya. Because right now, we don't have anyone to compare Arya to. We don't see anyone that she's beaten to show her prowess. And I'm sorry, we need swordsmen. We need close combat for the long night. And that's something that Visenya has. On top of having the dragon, I gotta mention the dragon again. So that's it. That's all I gotta say.
Excellent. All right. Great point, Nettles. Let's just wait here. I want to give you your full time and go.
All right. I don't even need to use all my time either because I think Tinfoil pretty much has it down. But I would like to note that dragons don't mean shit in a fight because will the dragon be useful to the long night? Yes. Will it be useful to the living people? Maybe not, because evidence shows that a dragon can be turned into a white, and you're basically fucking cooked. Whereas Arya wouldn't do that at all. She doesn't have a dragon to get cooked. She will just get the dagger and kill the Night Queen, as it is shown. I yield my time.
I don't have a rebuttal. I said what I said. Dragon, Valyrian steel, grown woman, warrior.
I have a point that I didn't want to rebut. We do have, again, dubious, and we can cringe at it, but she beats Brienne in a direct sharp blades fight, and Brienne, until that point, is peerless, undefeated. Beats the Hound, beats Loras, beats an admittedly imprisoned but still two-handed Jaime. She was, up until that point, unambiguously the top.
And Renly.
Yep. Unambiguously top sword fighter in the realm, and Arya was able to go toe-to-toe with her and actually beat her, or at least take her to a draw with her own Valyrian steel blade. Valyrian steel on Valyrian steel. Basic power scaling says Arya is better than the best sword fighter in the land. So it takes the blades as well as the unique magic war assets.
So the chat made some pretty good points. Carl Karsnark, White Walkers and dragons cancel each other out. Frodo was small and sneaky and took down all of Mordor. Good point. And then Moore's Code Food says Visenya replaces Dany, not Arya. You kind of need both, but dragons are specifically important to killing swarms of whites. I don't know. What do you guys think? Chat, help me.
Who is better in times of war? Would you want to have Visenya at your back or Arya?
There are other dragon riders besides Visenya. There are not other
But
dragons.
the question is about Arya and Visenya, and I just want to. That's
okay.
But I would rather not give the whites nukes, if I'm going to be completely honest.
They are a more temperamental weapon. And again, Arya is able to kill the Night King, which the Dragon Fire cannot do.
That's true.
But it could hold off so you can have time for Arya to live to get to the Night King. We need to hold them off.
I can't decide. It's 50-50. I just let's let the chat decide this one. So I have two dragons and one mask.
There were still swarms of whites still around when Arya killed the Night King.
It's 2 for 2.
That's true.
With or without swarms, Arya is able to get it done.
We have 3 dragons. We have 2 masks.
3 dragons, 2 masks.
Visenya is a grown woman.
Arya's a grown woman by that point. We were talking.
I know. I'm using whatever I got.
In general, the dragon has to be a better asset to the war effort. It just has to be.
But this is in the long night. This is a specific conflict which we've seen play out.
That's true.
There's another universe.
And I would like to see how helpful were the dragons, though.
They kept them aback for a long time, like hours. It was hours before the zombies were able to swarm the castle because the dragons were lighting them up.
But even when they were inside,
probably could have been days if they also didn't have a dragon.
I'm just saying, Visenya is not Daenerys. Daenerys rode her dragon once or twice. Visenya rode her dragon since she was like 5 years old. I don't know when she became a dragon rider. So she would be a more experienced. She would be using them in a more useful way than Daenerys would.
But we've still seen you breathe fire on them and it does nothing.
Whereas to the Night King, but it does take out the swarm.
Which is unnecessary because Arya can do it even if there's a swarm.
Okay.
What's the final answer?
I would say Visenya wins this one.
Woo! 5-3. 5-3.
I thought it was 4-4.
Nope.
Didn't we win the last one?
The last one did go to Arya, but Visenya was already at 4 because remember it was 4-2. Then it was 4-3, and then now it's 5-3.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
I'm a fair note taker.
So next question, who is more relatable to the modern audience?
Ooh. Okay.
And go.
The modern audience. So Visenya is a boy mom. Visenya is a trad wife. Visenya is a single mom. Visenya is a CEO boss babe who has to do everything herself. Visenya would be a fitness influencer in today's time, and she would also have food recipes on her Instagram. Visenya is a scholar. She visited the Citadel at Old Town way before they did the conquest, just for fun. She was just curious for knowledge. And she's not one of you bitches that believe anything off of a headline. So Visenya would very much fit into today's time because she knows, like I said, how to be a boy mom, how to be a trad wife, a single mom, a CEO boss babe, everything that is on trend today. Visenya embodies.
Time.
Just let me know when to.
I have a. Oh, there you are. Okay.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Oh, hello.
Oops. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Who is more relatable to the modern audience? And go.
Arya is broke. That is the whole case in point to me. As Nettles points out, Visenya is a trad wife, which is literally antithetical to modernity. A CEO and a fitness influencer. None of that is relatable to me, or like I would argue, most people. I can find it admirable, impressive, but she's born into feudal nobility with the belief that she is like part of a messianic Triforce trio. That is impressive, but unrelatable, not a thing that anyone goes through. And her whole arc is about having power and staying at the heights of power, whereas Arya goes through conventional everyday stuff that like the small folk have to go through.
Excellent. Excellent point. Okay, ready? Who is more relatable to the modern audience? And go.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate my points as like, being a trad wife is relatable because it's being a girl's girl and being supportive of different types of performance of femininity, I think. She's a boy mom though, which I think is an important thing to be because Visenya is a woman who is shaping a man. And I feel like she shapes Maegor into a wonderful human being who takes down the faith and saves the Targaryen dynasty. When people were looking to take advantage of the weakness of the Targaryen, it was Maegor who stood up, being propped up by his mother. So being a boy mom is very important to today's time because it's like yin and yang, and it's like it is very important to have both aspects. And then that single mom life that I mentioned, it's something that's very a modern take as a woman who can do it all. Woman who can do it all.
All right.
All right.
And who's more relatable? Go.
All right, so you might think, Arya, she's not like other girls. How would she be relatable? But that's exactly how she is. Every YA protagonist in the last 10 years was not like other girls, which proves that Arya's archetype is exactly what modern audiences need and relate to. She was the character who, and I will bring up the show, when people would watch a show, I think she was one of the characters that helped it be in the mainstream because she was one of the characters to sink to. Nobody liked Sansa, and there was not a lot of other female characters for people to relate to. And I'd also say that she didn't want to become a lady. She, rejecting exercise, like these kinds of like things are relatable. And no, it isn't relatable. Being married to Elon Musk, like that isn't what everyone lives as. Is she a trad wife if she doesn't really have to like trad life? Like, she's kind of just there. Like, she's part of a class that the modern audience would not be able to touch. And I yield my time.
Okay, well, great. That was your time anyway. All right. So really good points all around. I definitely have a feeling on this one.
Visenya.
What does the chat think? We have to take opinions from the chat.
Guess, take that mask off. Stop it. Stop posting the mask.
This is as close a time as I can get to justifying one of my favorite little Arya tangents, which is
Do it.
Like early. I started getting really into Game of Thrones at the same time as I was like early in transition, and like there is so much like trans discourse around Arya. There's a lot of like, oh, she's kind of like gender non-conforming AFAB, either like tomboy or like trans man coded. But like I found a lot of identifying with her as like a trans woman through the experience of she is a girl. She knows herself to be a girl, but multiple people are constantly like, "What's up, you boy? How's it going, little boy?" And she's like, "What the fuck?" So it's rare to have an AFAB trans woman coded character, and I just very much enjoy that about her.
Yeah.
So it looks like the chat is highly in favor of Arya, and so am I. I think Arya takes this one. It's also, you had a really good point. You know, it's not relatable being the wife of fucking Elon Musk. That's great. Basically. And also, I think that being a sister wife is not the most relatable thing either.
It was a show on TLC.
And impressive struggle, but it's
That's exactly. That's where you get the spectacles, not relatability.
Right.
So now we're Visenya 5, Arya 4.
Okay. Are we ready for the next question?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I am not. Okay.
Question 10.
Number 10, who makes life better for the High Lords? Visenya or Arya? And go.
Well, Visenya makes life better for the High Lords because she is a High Lord. She has had dinner with them. She trained in the yard with them. She's seen them every day of her life. She can relate to them. So whether it's conscious or subconscious, the decisions she makes will benefit them because she knows that she needs them. She needs their money and she needs their support in order for the realm to work. Arya seeks out small folk and considers herself one of them. She would be biased to small folk needs. And when we look at the example of Egg was someone who was like Arya. He looked out for the small folk. Sometimes he considered himself a small folk, and that didn't pan out too well. It was like a power struggle. It's like when you become president and you have all these ideas, but the House and the Senate are against you. You can't do anything, and that's how Egg was. So having someone who can speak the language of the High Lords is better.
Excellent. Okay. Who makes life better for the High Lords? And go.
I want to thank you for preemptively making my points for Arya being a better small folk person on the next question. But Visenya is bad for almost every High Lord whose name isn't Targaryen. Durandons lose their seat. Their guy is killed, and Argella is kidnapped and forcibly brought out to, it's consensual, allegedly, get married with Oris. But in any case, it's the end of like Durandon rule, and they are stripped of their crowns. The Arryns are stripped of their crowns. The Gardeners are extinguished, and their crowns are given to the Tyrells. The Lannisters have their crowns stripped from them. The horrors of Harrenhal lose their crowns. The Starks lose their crowns, all because of Visenya. Visenya is present for all of the above incidents, and that is before she burned like all of fucking Dorne and half the Riverlands because of some lords that defied her, which is to say nothing of all the conflict with Maegor.
Great points. All right. Who makes life better for the High Lords? And go.
I'm gonna yield my time on this and just reiterate my points that Visenya Visenya is a High Lord. She speaks their language in a way that Arya could never.
All
right,
that is a really good point. All right, go ahead. We'll just give you extra time.
Okay, I would say that most lords like to continue being lords and to give their children that lordship and to continue doing that. But Visenya has a habit of killing everyone. So there were some changes in powers. That's how the Tyrells came to power. And I would generally think that what happened to Dorne, what happened to Harrenhal, everything that happened would generally be unfun for lords. I don't think that that would be something that they would enjoy or prefer. I think that generally just somebody who barely exists to them, I don't think in this world they would like kill Ned Stark or anything. I don't think Arya has any ability or not ability or reason to do anything she does to the lords in the show to the people that Visenya would. So I don't see it. And that's my point.
Okay.
I have a rebuttal to 1 point.
Okay.
Rebuttal? Go ahead.
This whole idea that she's like diplomatic and speaking their language, would the test for that would be, does it bring peace with the lords? And it doesn't. Half of like the rule of Maegor is spent with like popular uprisings, which are backed by like a whole number of lords. Like her alleged allegiance to the lordship, the aristocracy, does not result in peaceful accord with the aristocracy, even after like the reign has like begun in earnest. To say nothing of all the power she stripped from the existing power structure before they got it to get to the throne.
I have no rebuttal. I said what I said. You already know what it is.
Chat, what do you guys think? I want to know first before I make a decision.
Who is better for the High Lords? Visenya, a queen whose ass has actually touched the Iron Throne?
Which was made from the swords that they took from all of them by beating them and destroying them.
And keeping them alive?
Except the ones that they didn't.
Yeah, except the ones
Unless
that are
you're a
dead.
whore or a gardener.
Whatever.
Or a
Get your sword
Durandon.
game up. Get your sword game up.
House Gardener is cooked. I'm not even a gardener.
I see a couple masks. I see one dragon.
Or anyone in
I
Dorne.
think Arya wins this one.
How
Anyone in
Arya
Dorne.
makes it better for the High Lords?
She doesn't.
Visenya makes it worse.
House Gardener. How does House Gardener feel about what she did to them?
Sorry, what
I
were
think
you saying?
that Visenya did make it worse for the people that she came in and conquered them and took their crowns. Technically, that's a step down. It's a demotion. You got to see it as that, right? Like being a king to being just a lord. They're High Lords because Visenya came in and demoted them.
Yeah, that even got me when you came in talking about the conquest and all those. I'm like, dang it, I didn't even think of that at all. Like,
yeah,
it was good for the High Lords in that they started being High Lords and stopped being kings.
They did stop fighting with each other after they got conquered. That is true, but I don't know. Technically, it's just a step down from like what she did directly to them, those people, individuals, not just like for the better being of their whole line, but like for them in particular.
Well, I hope you're happy.
Okay.
Now we're 5-5.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I'm not happy about
Well,
it.
number 11. Now, who makes life better for the small folk? Visenya Targaryen or Arya Stark? And go.
Well, I kind of mentioned this before, but Visenya's visit to House Aaron shows that she prefers to settle things with wit rather than fire. She saved thousands of small folk lives by just that one act at the Vale of Aaron. Arya is so rash. Arya would make decisions based on emotion, just like her fishy pussy mom, Catelyn. And when rich
Oh,
and when rich people make rash decisions, wars are started. Arya was acting off emotion when she made an enemy out of Joffrey. She was the one who poisoned Joffrey against Sansa and collectively against the Starks because of her rash decisions. Now Joffrey truly hates the Starks. And this growing animosity would be the tinder to kick off the War of the Five Kings. Thanks, Arya. When people make rash decisions like Arya, the small folk pay. The small folk are killed by the mountain and his vile men in the Riverlands. The small. Okay, I'm done.
Okay.
I need to pause
Who
to
makes
collect
life?
myself because Nettles
Yep.
poked my cat button.
Just take a few deep breaths.
Fishy.
Ah. Okay. Who makes life better for the small folk? Go.
As Nettle pointed out, Arya has the same exact early trajectory as Egg, the unambiguously best for the small folk king in all of Westeros. She cares about the small folk. She has taken actions that reduced small folk casualty. Again, taking Harrenhal with about like a dozen people killed, avoided a whole like war conflict. Visenya would have killed folks in the Vale if they had resisted. That is the point of the implicit threat. And we know that she would have because, again, Dorne in the Riverlands, she burned the shit out of high lords and small folk alike repeatedly. Soldiers by the thousands fighting for the Lannisters and Gardeners. Also, Arya didn't poison Joffrey against the Starks. Joffrey was already cooking against the Starks. Joffrey is the one who sent the cat's paw before they even left on the King's Road. So, no, she wasn't poisoning him against the Starks. She was, in fact, defending the small folk from a power structure which Visenya created.
Okay. Who's better for the small folk? Go.
Let me just say that when people make rash decisions like Arya, the small folk pay. The small folk are killed by the mountain and his vile men in the Riverlands. The small folk are forced to march to war. The small folk is worse off because of people like Arya. People that think, that's my brother. Hey, stop that. Without actually thinking about it. Like when you think about the two archetypes, if Visenya has someone that's like, this bothers me, let me hold my feelings in, let me have a meeting about it, let me fly it out, and then she makes a decision versus she looks for the short term and the long term solutions versus Arya, who's all about order and justice. That's my brother. That's my dad. This is my list. Like, I'm sorry. When you're rash like that, the small folks suffer. I yield my time. Doc?
All right.
Okay. Who is better for the small folk? Go.
I would say that, again, it's almost the same argument as last time, that Arya doesn't really make that much of a difference either way, whereas Visenya, she had Maegor. She has to take responsibility for that. Maegor threatened to burn down, but we all know what Maegor did, but he even just threatened to burn down Old Town just because he can't marry enough wives. I don't see how that's beneficial to the small folk, because, let's repeat it, when rich people make rash decisions, people die. And that's exactly what Maegor did again and again and again. Those are rash decisions, and that's exactly what Visenya enabled. And I would say that would make her not, very popular with the small folk. I don't think any small folk would like her. Whereas if one of the small folk met Arya, she might be brooding, but they wouldn't be turned off or anything. That's a buddy. That's somebody you grab a drink with. I don't think that would happen with Visenya. Visenya doesn't give a shit about the small folk. She doesn't even know what they're doing. Again, the same way that Arya is relatable to the modern audience, it's because the modern audience are small folk, and that's exactly what Arya can, show off.
Time.
All right, I have a rebuttal, just a quick one. I just want to say that, first of all, Maegor did not make no rash decisions to go and burn Old Town. Maegor sat by while Amy's children were innocent, making a progress, and then Old Town freaking sees them, calling them abominations, and Maegor was paying them back for that. Maegor realized that we cannot live with the faith. We have to annihilate them. So it's not rash. It was something that was years made.
The faith that
years
all
in
of
the
the
making,
small folk
because
believe in?
Visenya talked to Maegor about it and said, hey, this is a long-term problem that you need to deal with.
The long-term problem being the populist faith worshipped by most of the small folk. The faith militant were small folk. Perhaps unjustified, but small folk, and it would be bad for them if Visenya and Maegor had the wrath, which they did do. Also, I really want to rebut the point about rashness. Arya is not rash. She thinks about leaping up to try and stab ill in pain and does it. The list is her nursing those grudges, not leaping right to go enact them. I don't see her as rash. Whereas Visenya, again, burns the Riverlands because she was pissed. Like, they didn't even do anything. Or people who didn't do anything were caught in her fire. So it's not just she flew it out. She flew it out and air bombed half of her own country.
I would say Arya wins this one.
Wow.
Simply because what they said, she doesn't make that much of a difference to the small folk. She really only makes a difference to the High Lords. And even then, I don't know. Visenya has a dragon. And that makes a huge difference to the small folk, just in general. I mean, it's so hard to, argue against that.
Is that your final answer?
And the chat agrees. I think the point goes to Arya, yes.
This is trash. Now Visenya is 5, Arya is 6. This must be a horrible dream. Last question.
Okay, last question. Based on everything we've seen in the books and shows, based on headcanon and fan theories, who has the better story? Arya Stark or Visenya Targaryen? And go.
The reason the Targaryen sigil exists is because of Visenya's mere existence. So remember, the Targaryens didn't have a sigil until after Aegon's conquest. Then they decided, well, let's do what the Westerosi are doing and let's create a sigil. And the reason Aegon, he didn't put 1 dragon on there, he didn't put 2, he put 3. Because he realized that Visenya's mere existence was just as important as his own. He put the 3 heads on that sigil. Visenya is iconic. She's forever. And who would you rather be? Would you rather be a little girl lost in the Riverlands, or would you rather be a beautiful, powerful queen who has a throne and who has a dragon? Would you rather be someone who hails from Valyria and who knows that in her blood is the power of kings, in her blood is the power of conquerors and rulers? I have a quote. That night she mounted Vhagar and returned to Dragonstone, and it is written that when her dragon passed before the moon, that orb turned red as blood. That is a story worth telling.
Time. Okay. Who has the better story? Go.
As Nettles points out, Visenya is born into power, born believing that everything is hers by right, and basically lives a life that never challenges that. A good story is defined by conflict and struggle. Visenya shows up to Westeros as part of this conquering trio, and just straight wins. Aaron's, Durandon's, the whole conquest is just a rollover, and the most like struggle parts have to do with Aegon and Rhaenys. Visenya doesn't have any like significant struggle in her life until it comes to Aegon's succession, which she is an indirect player in, and it is an interesting story, but it does not hold up to Arya's journey from King's Landing, traveling with the Night's Watch, the Brotherhood, the Wolf Pack, being a faceless man. Everything she does is so dynamic and gripping. Visenya just shows up and rolls over and wins, except for like one tiny conflict that she's in the back room for.
Okay. Who's got the better story? Go.
So we are allowed to take points from the chat. So I would like to use that power. Carl Karsnark says, Visenya is an inspiration. Arya is an assassin. And we're talking about who has the better story. Arya's story is the story of an assassin, a little girl who learns to fight and kills people. Visenya is an origin story. Visenya is a story that's written in the textbooks. She's an inspiration to Arya. Visenya's story is about everything from medieval life to women's empowerment to dragons to fantasy. No matter what you're interested in, Visenya is an inspiration for you, while Arya is just an assassin. Yes, she assassinates the Night King. That's a big deal, but she's just an assassin. Nothing even comes of that when you look at the show from her assassinating the Night King. So thank you, Carl Karsnark. That is my point.
Time. Okay. Who has the better story? Go.
I think this is an easy wash. At least Arya has a story. She literally has the quintessential hero's journey. And not only that, but the way George R. R. Martin writes it, it's the inverse of the hero's journey. So she gets a call to adventure, the death of Ned. But this call to adventure is forced. It's a forced circumstance. And then on top of that, she has her mentor, Jaqen. And then instead of like finding her daddy and getting it, she slowly loses it. And then her transformation in the House of Black and White. This hero's journey has been known throughout time, and there's a reason people use it. It's because it's a good story. She has the best story. This is the hero's journey. I would like to. Yep. I'm done.
I don't have any rebuttals. Do you guys have rebuttals?
I believe Visenya has no arc. Arya has an arc, which is a bit unfair just by the nature of like Arya is a character in a story, and Visenya is, until we get the Conqueror show, not so much a character as just like a set element. But the question's not about fairness; it's about what they do. And Arya has a trackable arc. Visenya is not changed by her struggles. Seems to be largely the same imperious, I am in control ruler from start to finish. And that to me is a sign that it can't be that great of a story if she's the same at the end as she was at the beginning.
Doc.
And even if she doesn't literally have a story, I mean, even if you don't think of her story, I mean, think of the themes you would characters. With Arya, you can think of it immediately. Identity, the traumatic effects of violence. This is just simple to think of. Whereas even if you're thinking of what would be Visenya, like what is she doing? What's the themes? Like what's going on? It's just Visenya. She's a backstory.
I'll have to disagree. Visenya is not a backstory. Visenya is universal. Someone like Catelyn could look at Visenya and be like, oh, wow, she's a great example of what it is to be a queen and to be just. Someone like Arya could be like, oh, she had a cool story with a name. Someone like Brienne could be like, hey, she still wore the chainmail, but she still wore the silks. So I think even men, even boys could relate to Visenya and say that, wow, I am a Kingsguard because Visenya made it up. Like, so no matter who you are, Visenya is universal, and that's what that story is.
So is Arya.
Arya is also universal. She is universal.
How are you going to use my own
tragic
argument?
Effects of violence affects everyone. That
She's all that-
literally, you're arguing for Arya right now.
She's all of that, but just more so.
I'll say
Look,
Moore's code food just said, Paris said she'll leave George
Paris said she'll leave George.
if he kills Arya off. That's one hell of a story. But let's pretend we didn't see that. Visenya has a better story.
You know, Nettles, I think you made the best argument here. Yeah. You were so compelling in your argument for Visenya. So I think you win this one. But also, my own argument here for Visenya is that literally Visenya is who Arya looks up to. Like, that's the story that Arya tells herself. Like, wow. I don't know. I just think
she looks up to her character, not her story. But
that's true.
Her story is her character.
And Arya
story
doesn't
is
have an
her
Arya
character.
Stark to look up to.
her story
Arya,
is not her
it-
character.
it's impossible to make
There's
it
a
an
reason
apples
those
to
are
apples
two different
comparison.
words.
So you all made great arguments, and especially about like Visenya being backstory because this and that. But also, I've read Fire and Blood. She's a character to me. She definitely jumped out on the page to me. And Nettles, you said it all with your argument for her. Like her story covers everything from, what did you say? Like women's rights to witchcraft to like dragons and war and raising
Fantasy,
a son. Like
history. It's all
it covers so many different things. And I think it's a super interesting character and story. And even if I didn't think that, Nettles, I think you would have just won based on your argument, which is like, I'm trying to be unbiased.
So that puts us at 6-6, a tie.
I know.
So that means that either
And my
the
laptop's
judge.
about to die.
What? Oh.
Yeah, so I might
was
be in
just
the
gonna say
chat.
that we
We'll
could-
see.
I was just gonna say we could leave it as a tie and say that these are two awesome characters that just we can't decide, or I was gonna let the judge or the chat come up with one more question, and we could both teams could kind of just go off the top of the head to see if we could break the tie. So yeah, Tara Incognito says lightning round. Yeah. What do you guys think? Are we satisfied with the tie, or do we want to break it?
I'm satisfied with the tie because I will be able to take it as a moral victory on the basis of chat giving us the first and last question, which would have made it 8-4. So,
okay, leave it a tie. How do you feel, Judge?
That's fine with me. I really like both characters, so
me too.
I don't know if I could
We
decide.
worked so hard.
So many of the questions were 50-50 to me.
I know.
I just hope you guys know that. Like,
Team
you guys all
Arya,
made
you guys did good. You guys did really good. Even I was like, dang.
Yeah, tie feels good.
Okay. Yeah. Yay!
Yay!
So
Arya and Visenya equals.
Yeah. Doctor says, thank you for having me. Even though I was just yapping out of my ass, it was super fun. Doctor, no, thank you. Not
Thank
us.
you, Doctor.
Yeah.
Thank you for showing up. You made the stream possible.
I love Doctor Who. I'll just say that too.
Oh, okay. So there you have it, folks. Visenya and Arya are just equally as good. And that just shows that even though I'm taking it as a win, it shows that Arya is such a good character that she could be compared to a grown woman who's had a full life, because Arya almost has had like a full life in her 11 years. She's experienced so many things and thought so many exotic thoughts that she could be compared to a grown woman. So I think that I love Arya. Oh my gosh, I love Arya so much. So yeah, do you guys have anything to say just to close off? Any last arguments, or just how the characters related to you, or changed your mind about anything? Doctor says recount the votes from the Capitol.
They're both awesome. They're two of my favorite fictional characters of all time. Seriously, I have a gigantic snake named Vagar. She didn't make it to the channel today, but she's been on past episodes, and she can be in the future too. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had a really good time. I said my little personal connection to Arya, which is always like my thing when I think about this character. Yeah, I had a really good time. Thanks for having me on.
Asher's trueborn son says they always say ties are like kissing your sister, so I guess the Targaryen wins. I've never heard that ties are like kissing your sister.
I've also never heard that.
I've heard that before.
But I it makes sense because you're like, I didn't win, but I didn't lose. No, losing? No, if you're kissing your sister, you're just always losing. Never mind. But yeah, no, both of these characters to me definitely relate. Just like I just believe in like yin and yang and like equal parts masculine, equal parts feminine to make like the perfect human being. In a way, not exactly. And Arya and Visenya are like that. Like I could never relate to Sansa, but I could relate to Arya. And same thing with Visenya. Like if it's a choice between Visenya and Rhaenys, I do like Rhaenys, but Visenya has that edge because she has Dark Sister. She has like that that masculinity that Rhaenys doesn't have. So that's just my little input. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. Thank you, chat. Thank you for your patience. Sorry we started late, but life is spontaneous and here we are. But yeah, thank you. And please check out everyone's channels. They're written in the description. Bye.
Bye.
Call your mom.
Bye.
Bye.